I would like to talk about computer ergonomics at home. So many of us are either working or studying at home and just using a laptop or a notebook computer. And I've seen a lot of issues with arm pain and neck pain. So here I'll demonstrate what usually happens. Most of the time people sit on a desk or even kitchen table, got a regular kind of chair we sit on. So the problem I see is that we usually our posture becomes like this, and because of the low spring on the laptop, our neck tend to go like that. Initially, maybe you try to straighten up, but because of the low angle, we naturally go to this slouch posture. So you take a lot of loading on our neck, and our arms usually bend up like this. So it's kind of like the T-Rex arms, okay? We go like that. The problem is you might be cutting your forearm into the edge of the table, which actually could compress your tendon or your carpal tunnel nerves. Maybe you bring it a bit closer like that, then we've got even more big angle like that, okay? So over time you fatigue out your muscles and they actually cause pain. So if you think about your head is like a bowling ball, and then our spine is like a stick. So when we sit on top of the stick, all the weight is supported through our spine. The moment we start to go forward, it starts to drop. So then the muscle of the neck has to hold up the bowling ball. It's like I tilt the stick forward, the bowling ball naturally wants to fall down. So your muscle here have to work very hard to keep it upright. And that is gonna get very tiring very soon. So here I would like to talk about your feet. Sitting on like a kitchen chair is actually pretty good. So normally when we sit, we should be 90-degree angle in your ankle, your knee, your hip, and also arm should be a 90-degree. So you see that's the proper position. However, if you look at the table height, then that becomes below the table. And that's why in a normal desk, we do have a keyboard tray, okay? Now, if you are not going to modify your furniture, here's what you can do. So if you're able to get a chair that rises, then you're gonna have to raise the chair up, okay? So the benefit is that once I raise the chair up, you see my arm is actually level with the table now, okay? And I'm still kind of maintaining 90-degree. However, your feet will lose that 90-degree in the knee and the ankle. So I just use a shoebox, but you could get a proper footstool or books, just go create it. So you're gonna have to prop it up so you maintain 90-degree ankle, 90-degree knee. Okay, so if I push it in a bit here, you'll see that I can come in here, and then my arm will be the proper height. And then now we'll talk about the screen. So once we raise it up, and you can see I'm just slightly off there. So it should be a 90-degree angle here, and the arm is dropped down naturally. Good, okay? So once you raise the chair height up, the elbow should be 90 degrees, okay? And your arm will be parallel to the table surface and just a little bit higher. We'll talk a little bit more about the position of the arm now. So here, once we raise the chair up to be the right height, then our hand should be down like a piano playing. Now, they have these keyboard stand. Conventionally, people use because you see better, but you actually put your hand in a bad position because your wrist will be actually bent up, and that takes a lot of stress on the tendon and the wrist, okay? So you actually make it flat, don't raise it up. So you'll be like piano playing, should be very relaxed, okay? I could probably get my chair a little bit higher, as you can see, because I really like it to be right angle and the shoulder doesn't have to shrug up, okay? So if you get a chair with armrest, you could adjust it so you could rest your arm on it, okay? So your shoulder shouldn't be shrugged up, they just support you there, okay? So as you can see, I'm pretty tall, so I could even make the chair go higher up a bit, okay? So then once you're here, I want the mouse to be just right beside you. Some people, they have their mouse like really far away and they have to reach and that just pulls the arm again, okay? So they should be right beside you, and then so you just have to move a little bit. So here, as you can see, I creatively raise my laptop, boxes, books, whatever you can. So right here you can see I'm almost to the level of my eyesight, okay? So when I sit up straight, it should be there. There's some people discussing going up higher to top 1/3 of the monitor, but I find that it's actually very tiring, okay? So I find that you can play with that a bit. So as you type, if you slouch now, your eyesight is going to go to the middle of the screen, and that will remind you to go up. So the very simple way to prop it up. And obviously just get an external keyboard and mouse and that will solve that problem, right? You don't want to be typing like this either. It will be really bad for your hand and your wrist and stuff like that, okay? So alternatively, you could also get something like a laptop stand that you could raise up the height. But I find that without the box, you're still low. You look at how high that is right now. So that's about right. And I do have to add a pretty big box. Okay, so again, just use the box to adjust the height to your eyesight level. Lines up to almost the top of the monitor. Okay? So alternatively, the best way is to get a keyboard tray. I've actually got these keyboard tray from Amazon. You just have to screw onto your table so you don't need to damage it. Now, when you get a keyboard tray, the benefit, like we talked about, is to be able to maintain your ankle, your knee, your hip at 90 degrees without having to raise the chair up a lot. So here you can see it's the right height for me, okay? Now, make sure you get a keyboard tray that's wide enough that you have space for your mouse. Some of them are very small and you ended up, you cannot do that, and that's where people put it on the table we talked about. And then despite that here is a good position, people are reaching, okay? So get a wide enough keyboard tray for this. And so here, I've set this up like that. We talked about with a stand or books, the right height. And then so here, you could actually do it properly and just rest your back and go into that position. So to me, this is like the most proper ergonomic setup. You just have to get an external keyboard, a mouse, and if you can, get a tray. If not, just do what we had talked about previously by raising the chair. However, you do need some proper chair that could raise. And as chair goes, really, I would really prefer something like this. You have some back support, armrest, and stuff like that, okay? So with the kitchen chair or other chairs, we are really not ergonomics, okay? So then some people ended up leaning forward, the back is not supported. So lastly, we talk about sit, stand, desk. There are a lot of talks about sit, stand desks. There's some discussion about working in standing could help you burn more calories, but it only burns 8 more calories per hour, so that's not a very significant amount. But I would say the benefit is actually to help your posture. Now, the most proper way is to change from sitting to standing every half an hour, and this is recommended by occupational therapists. So you don't want to be working in standing for 8 hours a day because your muscle in your back is going to get tired as well. So make sure you change it quite frequently. So if you don't have a sit-stand desk, the best way is to actually get up and walk around. So I usually recommend you get up and walk around for a couple minutes for every hours of sitting, okay? And that will actually burn more calories than 8 calories per hour extra with standing. And also it uses your muscle that you don't normally use, okay? So that would be the best way. So I hope these videos will really help you. And it really, for long-term occupational health, you should modify it to set it up well so it doesn't strain your neck or arm. Recently, I've seen more patients because of the poor ergonomics. They come to see me because of arm pain. If unfortunately they get some carpal tunnel syndromes, neck pain, they get a lot of back pain. So I would say it's worth it to invest some money, or if you get equipment from your company to set it up, that would be great. Your long-term health is definitely worth the modification.